I'm here at the booth of Z-Man Games in GenCon 2016, here with Michael, who has agreed to tell us a little bit about the Pandemic Realm of Cthulhu, which is a game I'm really excited about. I like Cthulhu myths, I like Pandemic, it looks like best of both worlds. So can you tell us a little bit about the game?
Yeah, so you in this game are working as investigators with you and your friends, and you're going to be trying to seal the different gates that are in this realm of Cthulhu. So it's very similar to that normal Pandemic system in that you're trying to gather those cards. Once you have 5 cards, you're going to be able to seal a gate, kind of like getting a cure, and then trying to get them before time runs out. This one's can be a little bit more challenging though. Do you want to look at the board so I can show you a few of the features on it?
Absolutely.
Alright, so in this, just like the other one, there's still player powers, so everyone has a special ability, but the difference is, in addition to your power, you also have a certain amount of sanity. And throughout the game, there's going to be ways that you're going to need to roll the sanity die. So whenever you enter a space with Shoggoth, or you try to use a relic, which is kind of like a special one-time use card, then you're going to have to roll the sanity die. And depending on what side, you might lose 1, 2 of your sanity, or summon some cultists that'll come and hurt you. So it can be very dangerous. The problem is, once you run out of all your sanity, then you've gone insane. Not very good.
So this is the opposite side of the card.
And all of the cards that on the insane side will go down in action. So instead of doing 4, you do 3, and the effect is now a negative effect. It still is going to be a little bit different than everyone else's, but it can hurt you instead of helping you all the time. Throughout the game, you're going to be going through that same general flow as Pandemic. So you take your 4 actions, you then draw your 2 cards. Those actions can be removing the cultists from the board, and moving around trying to defeat the different Shoggoths that are out there. Then at the end, you're going to get 2 new cards and do some summoning. So when you summon, you get new of the cultists. Adding cultists to your 4th one, it doesn't spread out. Instead, these cultists have completed the ritual. And in that summoning ritual, they reveal a great old one that they've brought into the world. So all these old ones that are randomized give you a one-time negative effect, or sometimes they're continuous effects that will be lasting for the rest of the game. Another way that these can come to the board is these Shoggoths. Alright, so this is also different from the original Pandemic system. Some of these summoning cards, instead of just, in addition to adding a cultist to that location, they also will move the Shoggoths on the board. So all 3, up to the 3 Shoggoths that come in the game will move 1 space closer to the different gates that are on the board. There's 4 gates, 1 in each city. Every time they move, they kind of get a little bit closer. And whenever they are already on that gate, they can't move anymore. Instead, they go into the gate and they summon an old one. So they go off the board and they bring another great old one. Eventually, once all the great old ones are summoned, Cthulhu comes and you've lost the game. The world is plunged into darkness. The other way that these will come out is just like that original Pandemic, that predictable, kind of like the infection cards, the epidemics. There's evil stir cards that come in these decks that also awaken these gods. So it's a test of time as you and your fellow investigators try to seal the gates, making sure there's not too many cultists or Shoggoths throughout the game before you can stop the end of Cthulhu.
Sounds excellent. I mean, what I like from what I hear is that it really does not look like it was just a cosmetic thing. They took Pandemic and they added some Cthulhu art, but it looks like it was redesigned quite deeply. Yeah,
there's definitely their own unique elements that haven't been in any other Pandemic game that we've seen before.
Now, what do you think that the main differences are in terms of like the experience, gameplay, not just rules, but you know, how does it feel different?
So I feel like it's a little bit more scary. Every time you enter the space with a Shoggoth, you have to roll that insanity die. And so even if it's not your turn, you might suddenly go insane. And the thought of losing your special power when it's someone else's turn is something that's new that I haven't seen before. It's a little bit in Pandemic Legacy with your life being lost and possible to die, but this is something that you don't have to devote all that long campaign to. You definitely have that different feel of that. Also, those summoning those great old ones, adding those effects one time, or those continuous effects, is also something new that really sets it apart from the other games within this line.
Excellent. This is Pandemic Reign of Cthulhu. Reign of Cthulhu available here at GenCon 2016, and I believe soon in stores too, right?
Soon in stores, yep.
Excellent.
Released here.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Have a good day.